Marcus Chen had survived the First Contact War, 3 tours on the Martian colonies, and even a particularly nasty bout of Venusian flu. Nothing, absolutely nothing, had prepared him for his new neighbor. The Quilxari had moved into apartment 7B 3 weeks ago. Her name was Zixthrala, which she kindly shortened to Zix after watching Marcus nearly dislocate his jaw attempting the proper pronunciation. She was pleasant enough, 7 feet of iridescent blue chitin, forearms that could multitask better than any human, and compound eyes that sparkled like disco balls under the hallway lights. The first week was normal. Well, as normal as having an insectoid alien neighbor could be. They'd exchanged pleasantries. She'd brought over something that looked like crystallized honey but tasted like barbecue sauce. He'd offered her coffee, which she'd politely declined after 1 sip, sent her into a 30-minute coughing fit. Week 2 brought the first signs. Marcus noticed the temperature in the hallway had increased by at least 10 degrees. The building super, a grumpy Centaurian named Vorp, had mumbled something about seasonal adjustments and stomped away. Then came the sounds, a rhythmic thrumming that vibrated through the walls at all hours. Marcus had invested in noise-canceling headphones. By week 3, things escalated. "Good morning, Marcus," Zix chirped one Saturday, her mandibles clicking cheerfully as he stepped out to grab his mail. He nearly dropped his coffee. Zix had constructed what could only be described as an elaborate bower in the hallway, a structure of shimmering fabrics, bioluminescent plants, and what appeared to be furniture from her apartment arranged in complex geometric patterns. Morning, Zix," Marcus managed. "That's quite a display." Her antennae perked up with evident pride. "You like it?" "It is my breeding bower. Very traditional. My homeworld's mating season has begun, and even though I am far from Quilxar Prime, biology does not care about distance." Marcus's brain short-circuited somewhere between breeding and bower. "The males will be so impressed," Zix continued, oblivious to Marcus's growing alarm. "See how I have arranged the phosphor blooms in the Fibonacci sequence? And the resonance chamber I built?" She gestured to what Marcus had assumed was a very oddly shaped bookshelf. "Produces mating calls at exactly 432 Hz. It is scientifically proven to attract the most compatible partners." "That's great," Marcus squeaked. "How long does this season usually last?" "Oh, only 6 of your Earth months." 6 months. Marcus discovered the real meaning of not ready for this over the following days. Zix's bower expanded. What started as a hallway obstruction soon incorporated the stairwell, parts of the lobby, and somehow, inexplicably, she'd convinced the building's management to let her use the rooftop garden. The thrumming intensified. Marcus's noise-canceling headphones were useless against vibrations that made his teeth rattle. His morning coffee now came with a side of elaborate Quilxari mating dances, visible through his window as Zix performed on the rooftop at dawn. Other human tenants complained. Vorp received 17 formal protests. Mrs. Henderson from 3A started a petition. But here's the thing about humans that the galaxy hadn't quite figured out yet. They adapt. Week 4, Marcus did research. He dove deep into xenobiology databases, contacted a few xenoanthropology friends from his military days, and learned everything he could about Quilxari breeding seasons. He discovered that the thrumming could be dampened with a specific type of acoustic foam. He bulk ordered it and distributed it to the affected apartments, free of charge. When he noticed Zix looking dejected one evening, her bower's lights dimmed. He asked what was wrong. "No males have responded," she admitted, her voice uncharacteristically small. "I am so far from home. The pheromone signals cannot reach across space." "I knew this, but instinct is powerful." Marcus thought about loneliness, about being far from home, about biological imperatives that reason couldn't override. He thought about his own years in space, missing Earth, missing human connection. The next day he organized a building meeting. "Look," Marcus addressed the assembled tenants, "we're all here on Earth Station Harmony because we believe in coexistence. We signed up for this. Yeah, Zix's breeding season is inconvenient and weird, and frankly a little uncomfortable for those of us with different biology, but we're human, we're adaptable, we're creative, and we don't abandon neighbors." Mrs. Henderson crossed her arms. "What exactly are you proposing?" "We help her." What followed was perhaps the most bizarre community project in the station's history. Marcus coordinated with the Quilxari embassy, to broadcast Zix's pheromone signals through subspace channels. Vorp, grudgingly impressed by Marcus's initiative, rewired the building's environmental systems to accommodate Quilxari seasonal needs. Mrs. Henderson, a retired engineer, helped Zix optimize her bower's structural integrity. Other humans contributed in ways only humans could. Illogical, creative, ridiculous ways. Someone created a dating profile for Zix on the Interstellar Network. Another organized a fundraiser to bring Quilxari males to the station. The local human children, fascinated by the bower, asked if they could help decorate, and Zix tearfully agreed, incorporating their crayon drawings into her display. 3 weeks later, a Quilxari transport arrived. 7 males had responded to the broadcasts. Zix was ecstatic. The breeding ceremonies were thankfully private. But the celebration afterward was building-wide. Zix, radiant and grateful, gave a speech in the lobby. "I came here alone," she said, her translator crystal glowing. "I expected tolerance at best. But you humans, you did not just tolerate. You cared. You problem-solved. You turned my solitary season into a community event. My people have a saying, 'The strongest nest is built by many hands.' I understand it now." Marcus raised his glass of that weird honey barbecue stuff. "To neighbors," he said. "To humans," Zix replied, and the building erupted in cheers. Later, as Marcus returned to his apartment, passing the still elaborate but now joyful bower, he smiled. Humanity hadn't conquered the galaxy through strength or technology alone. They'd done it through something simpler, something the war colleges never taught but every human instinctively knew. They showed up. They adapted. They cared, even during alien breeding season, especially during alien breeding season, because that's what humans did.